Mike Gould here, Mayor of Hounds, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. I got my little friend Rocky here today, Saturday, Sunday in July, and this is Rocky, and this is Teddy. We kind of put them together to see how they interact with each other, other animals. We have humans around. Rocky retreated immediately into fear. So on a scale of 1 to 10, she was like an 8 when we took her out this morning, my first interaction with him. And so now, the process for him is actually different than the process for Teddy. Teddy is a pretty confident, bold dog. So we adjust our training to suit the needs of the dog. So for Rocky, we need to get him balanced. So right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's up around a 7 or 8 in fear. And really for no real reason. Nothing's happened, meaning no explosions, there's been no vacuum cleaners, nothing's really happened except he's exposed to a different environment that he's used to. And when dogs grow up in a very static environment, then they don't know what, just like a human. If you don't get out much, if you're, what's that thing, an agoraphobic? What's the thing when people stay in the house, agoraphobic? If you don't go out, then everything is something to be fearful. So Teddy, confident, Rocky not so confident. But so before we can really start moving his training along, and so to speak, if we want to use the word training, we have to get him a little more confident like Teddy is. So I have to get low, I have to use all kinds of different approaches and balance him out. He's got to be acceptant of a lot of changes in environment. So this is how we roll. It's going to be, and then tomorrow, now he's developing a little bit more confident. He's not frozen in fear. I always have some way of controlling the dogs. In this case, it's a piece of rope. 2 pieces of rope. They're not choking the dog. We don't use electric. We don't use pinch collars. We don't use harnesses. All of these things are inventions of humans that don't really understand dog behavior. So they're inventing them. You buy them. They don't work. You come to me. Good. And then we put a $1.50 piece of rope on, and we're going to watch this evolution. Good dog. Good. Good. We're going to cut for now, and we got work to do getting Rocky a little bit more balanced out of this fearful mode. And as I said, I'm assuming it's just because we have a very strange little world here. Teddy's not so fearful. So we play, we love balance. We got to bring him up and balance Teddy out a little bit, if we want to. All right, that's good for today. Like the witness protection program. Yeah, there you are. I was admiring him, actually. All right, so here we go. We're moving forward with Rocky, and what we need him to do is not do tricks for treats. We don't want him to jump through rings of fire. We want to address his fears. And right now, by virtue of him leaving me, and he's doing what dogs do, he's doing what, Columbus did. He's exploring. He's exploring his nature. They're curious and exploratory. We are. Mammals are. And this is wonderful. So 10 minutes later, but the more formal training, to use a better word, is not going to take place until he's ready mentally to accept it. So he's just a little fearful. We're going to put him in play groups, and we're going to, I think that's our next step, put him in a play group and get some video of him running around with other dogs. Perfect, thank you. Mike Gould here, Mayor of Hounds, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. This is our boot camp client, Rocky, who's made a pretty significant turnaround from the first and second and third day he was here. He was really, really deeply rooted in fear of almost everything. Every movement, every sound. Tail was between his legs, shaking, nervous. He's been really doing good. We've been working really hard to socialize him and make him comfortable. The thing to see is we love good behavior physically. We have a leash and collar on, a specific leash and collar, and always have a leash, but there's no energy. So I'm giving him certain requirements. His requirement as a pack animal is to follow the leader. So when I say heel, we're going to keep him on my left side, and we'll see how this works. I'm going to say, Rocky, heel. And he stays on my left. There's no pulling. When I turn, he turns. Good. Notice that my energy level is low. There's no tension ever. Tension down the leash creates anxiety in the dog. When I stop, Rocky needs to sit. If I pivot out my right foot, Rocky stays. If I pivot out my left foot, Rocky walks. So this is significant. I stop, I slow down, he sits. Depending on my body movement, so dogs orient themselves to sound and movement. Pivot out my right foot, Rocky stays. I'm relaxed. If I want him to come to me, I say, Rocky, come. Good. He comes to my left and we walk. There's two frames of mind for the dog. Our time and his time. So unfortunately, Rocky's been on his own time for, I guess, most of his life and was never responsible to do anything. So we have to put structure in his life. He's a pack animal that requires structure. I stop, sit. And what has to be, a little correction, sit, love. What has to be understood is every movement, cars, trains, vacuum cleaners, noise. Dogs orient themselves to sound, movement, and smell. So every day in a dog's life is a different day. It's not like you or me that we know where we're going. This dog, all dogs, their mammalian brain don't comprehend everything, all the changes in the environment. So I'm going to go to the grass and give him free time, psychological free time. I step out my left, he walks with me. I come to the grass, I stop, he sits. I give him free time by saying, okay, good. Now he's allowed to do anything. Pee, poop, but notice one thing. There's never tension, and he never moves me. The idea about him giving kisses, it's appropriate only when the dog comes to you. When people get bit in the face, we just actually had that, where you put your face in an animal's face. It's rude and disrespectful. So we got to make sure that the dog is receptive to wanting to be kissed. And we know that if you're sitting on the floor and the dog comes to you. But if I'm like a giant to the dog, if I reach down and bend over and he doesn't know who I am, there's very good possibility we've removed the fight or flight instinct in a dog, so he might bite us. So today, things are going remarkably well. It's been a big shift, which I was a little apprehensive of, very frankly. I didn't know whether they all make a shift. The question is how quickly they make the shift. But they have to be exposed and triggered. So whether we can trigger everything that he experiences at home, we're going to try. We do everything in our power. But the good thing is he's been very responsive. So now that he's had an opportunity to pee or poop, I'm going to give him the fundamental command. I say his name, watch how relaxed. Rocky, heel. Then he comes to my side. He doesn't know left from right. We correct bad behavior with a little snap of the leash. It's little. Here comes cars. I snap when he gets ahead. He needs to be behind me. He needs to be behind me. He gets ahead. Watch what happens. Good dog. When he looks at me, I love him. I turn left. He turns left. Good dog. He's a little concerned about the camera. He doesn't understand what the person... It's a different person. As soon as Jackie picks up a camera... Sit. As soon as Jackie picks up... Sit. See the snap of the leash? Watch. It's got to happen. Sit. Good dog. Yeah, good. So as soon as a person even puts a hat on with a fear-motivated dog, the electrician who may be a family member puts on his electrical belt or his hat or a beard, he becomes a different human being. And those are when dogs are fear-motivated, which most dogs on some level are fear-motivated, that's where danger comes in. So you have to see the world through the eyes of this dog. Literally. From, 16 inches off the ground, he hears a dog barking a quarter of a mile away. So his ears, his body tells you everything. He's a little nervous right now. We're standing in the middle of a street. I step out my leg. I don't have to talk much to a dog. I don't have to talk much. My body moves. Dogs don't talk to one another, right? So the leader of the pack moves, and all the other dogs orient themselves to the leader. I step out my left, and we walk. And this is a wonderful video for today. Here comes cars. This is great. Look, nice and relaxed. No problemo. As we go, we're going to add all kinds of triggers. Vacuum cleaner, noise, Watch what happens when I create a noise. Good doggy. He became a little fearful, but not as fearful as he was 3 days ago. Sit. Good. Sit. He's nervous. He's got to trust my decision making. This is low key, low energy. Low key, low energy. I love good behavior, not food reward. Food reward screws this up on some level. Let's go. He's going to go play with his friends. Okay, so continuing with his training, and this is just an introduction to teaching a dog to go someplace when he's told to do it. So we teach all our dogs to go to a place, and that place is the only place they get food, but they have to go there voluntarily. So we're just using this crate. I open the door. Okay, Robert. Everything is done on a 6-foot leash. Now, if you remember last week when I pounded on things, he got very nervous, but now I can reach down and love him. So the concept of going place is simple. When there's drama in your house, parties, people, barbecues, construction, we just tell our little dog, who from now on, from this point forward in life, he only gets food in a den, because he's a denning animal. Rocky, good. Go place. Go place. Go place. Good. Go place. He's nervous. Because walking into this den is like walking down a mine shaft. Because there's a difference in texture and darkness. He went from light to dark. Once he understands this, that the only place, he doesn't understand it. We just started this today, this concept. It's a concept that will go on and carry through for the rest of the dog's life. Consistency is the rule here. Always leash and collar on, always under our supervision, as if he's an eternal 3-year-old child, because that's what he is. When you can't supervise, you put him in his crate, shut the door, take off the collar, go shower, go to 7-Eleven, do whatever it is you do. When you're ready to entertain and interact, we open the crate and tell him that. We use the word okay. Okay, that releases him. Okay releases. Good dog. Now we can go around. We can knock on doors. He's attentive to me. He's not so afraid. Let me see when I sit down. Good dog, Doc. He comes to me now. He comes to me and sits at my side like a very...
And if he went to jump?
Oh, if he jumps, I don't allow him to jump. 4 feet are on the ground. The only time we pet dogs physically is when they're 4 feet are on the ground. The only time we give food is when they go to a place voluntarily. A crate, a mat, and when we do that, life is good for the dog. A lot of love, and we'll be a little more physical as we go. But he just has to adapt. He's adapting much better than I expect. We're good. We'll do another video in a few more days. And if you remember the other day, he was having a nervous breakdown. His tail was tucked between his legs. Yeah. And he wants to probably go play. So he's looking over at the door. I stand up. Okay, Rock. I give him permission. Okay, Rock. Happy as a clam. Unlike me. Unhappy. Like an octopus. Bye.